SAS Studio includes integration with Git, a system for tracking changes and managing version control among multiple users. Many different repository hosting services can be used with SAS Studio. In this demo, we'll use GitHub. If you have access to SAS Studio, I encourage you to follow along with me. You will need your own personal GitHub account to complete all the steps. Before you can get started using Git with SAS, you must first establish a way to connect SAS to your Git server account. In SAS Studio, navigate to Options, Manage Git Connections. Select Profiles and click Add Git Profile. A Git profile can be configured with either SSH or HTTPS authentication. Using SSH involves a process of creating private and public keys, registering the keys with your Git provider, and then making those keys available to SAS. Using HTTPS involves a process of creating a personal access token in your Git provider and then making that token available to SAS. This demonstration will use SSH keys because you do not need administrative privileges to configure your Git profile. Using HTTPS may require your administrator to create an authentication domain in SAS Environment Manager in which you can store your Git ID and personal access token. If you would like to configure your Git profile using HTTPS, please visit SAS documentation for more information. Click Cancel and close the Manage Git Connections window. Let's begin by generating the required SSH keys. It's recommended that you use ED25519 SSH keys. Open the command prompt from the taskbar, then enter the following command. Be sure to modify the text to include the email used in your repository hosting service. SSH-keygen-t ED25519-C, and then in quotes, your email. Press Enter. You may confirm or change the location to store the key pair and optionally set a passphrase. Press Enter for no passphrase, and press Enter again to confirm. The SSH keys are now saved, and you can close the terminal. The next step is to add the new public key to the repository hosting service. Log into GitHub with your personal profile. Select your account profile from the upper right corner and choose Settings. In the left panel, select SSH and GPG keys. Click New SSH Key and type SAS Studio in the title field. I'll open Windows Explorer and navigate to the .sh folder where the keys are stored. Open the ID_ED25519.pub file in a text editor, like Notepad. Copy the public key text, then return to GitHub and paste the text in the key field. Click Add SSH Key. Let's go back to SAS Studio. Next, you must upload the SSH key pair to the server file system in a personal, secure location. In the SAS Server pane, expand Files, right-click Home, and select New Folder. Type keys in the name field and click OK. Select the new folder and click Upload. Navigate to the .sh folder, select both ID_ED25519 files, and click Open and Upload. Please note that when working in your own environment that can be accessed by other users, make sure that your SSH keys are stored privately and securely. Now we're ready to create a Git profile. Return to Options, Manage Git Connections, then select Profiles, and click the plus sign to add a new profile. Confirm the SSH tab is active and provide a profile name, such as My GitHub. Then enter your commit author name and email. Navigate to find the public SSH file with the .pub extension that was uploaded to the server file system. Repeat the process to also select the private SSH key, which doesn't have a file extension. Click OK to create the profile. Then click Close. In order to access the files from a Git repository in SAS Studio, you must clone the repository. When you clone the repository, a copy of all the files on the remote repository are copied to a working directory that you specify on your SAS server file system. Open a new tab in your browser and go to github.com/sassoftware/sas-via-quick-start. Next, you need to create a personal copy of the SAS Via Quick Start repository so that you can make modifications and save your version of the files. Select Fork, create a new fork. Keep the default settings and click Create Fork. Once the creation of the fork is complete, then select Code. On the Code tab, be sure to select SSH because SSH keys were used for the authentication method. Select Copy to copy the repository reference. Return to SAS Studio. Before cloning the repository, you must first create an empty folder on the SAS server where the repository files will be stored. In the SAS server pane, expand Files, then right-click Home and select New Folder. Type quick-start-git in the name field and click OK. Select the Git Repositories pane and click Clone Repository. Paste the repository URL copied previously from GitHub. Next, click Browse in the SAS Server location field. Expand SAS Server, Home, then select quick-start-git and click OK. Under Profile, select the GitHub profile created previously, then click Clone. Quick Start Git is now listed in the Git Repositories pane, and a new tab opens labeled Quick Start Git. You can also double-click the repository name in the navigation pane to open it. This is where you can view any staged and unstaged changes in your local repository and pull or push changes to the external Git repository. Let's go to the SAS server pane. Navigate to the Quick Start Git folder and expand it to view the contents of the cloned repository. Double-click printsample.sas to open the program. Let's make a change. Modify the first %let statement to change the value of the selection macro variable to random in uppercase. Click Run to execute the program. Confirm a random sample of 20 rows from sashelp.homeequity is generated, then click Save. Go back to the Quick Start Git tab. Select printsample.sas in the Unstaged Changes section to view the changes to the file. The previous lines of code that were modified are identified with a minus symbol and pink highlighting. The new lines of code are identified with a plus symbol and green highlighting. Select Stage to stage the selected file. The next step is to commit any changes we've made to the local repository, then push those changes to the remote repository. But before committing the modifications made to the printsample.sas program, it's a good practice to first pull any changes that may have happened in the main repository since you cloned it. Select Pull Main and Pull. In the Commit Comment field, type Changed Default Report to Random Sample. Then click Commit. Now make one more change in the program. Return to the printsample.sas tab and replace the color code in both Title I statements with the word blue. Run the program and confirm the title color has changed. Then save the program. Select the Quick Start Git tab. Printsample.sas is again listed in the Unstaged Changes list. Select Stage to stage the selected file. This time, type Change Title Color to Blue in the Commit Comment field, then click Commit. Now we're ready to push the changes made in our cloned repository back to the main repository on GitHub. Simply click Push Main to push the committed changes and verify the last push timestamp is updated. Return to the GitHub tab in your browser that displays the forked copy of the SAS Via Quick Start repository. Click Refresh to update the page. and confirm the printsample.sas program shows the commit comment and the updated time for the last commit. Click printsample.sas to view the program and confirm that the code changes are included. What happens when a change is made to the code in the Git application? In the printsample.sas preview, click Edit. Change random back to first, uppercase, in the first %let statement. Then click Commit Changes. Type Change Default Report to first n rows in the commit message box. Then click Commit Changes. Now return to SAS Studio and the Quick Start Git tab. In the History tab, you can view the commits made in both SAS Studio and the Git application. Notice the first 2 rows represent the changes we initially made in SAS Studio. Click Pull Main and Pull to sync the SAS Studio repository with the remote GitHub repository. You can select the first row in the history list to view the code modifications we made while in GitHub. If you right-click on a row in the history list, you can perform more advanced features, such as resetting the repository based on a previous commit or creating a new branch of the repository. For more information about these features and much more, select the Help menu and choose Help Center. Scroll down to find Using Git Integration under Advanced Concepts.